The next topic we are going to discuss is the tongue thrusting. Well, the tongue thrusting is a condition where the tongue pushes against or between the teeth during swallowing, speech, or at rest. So this habit can lead to dental malocclusion such as open bite, protruding teeth, and other orthodontic issues if it is left untreated. Now you should know the development of the tongue. During embryonic development, the tongue, we know it's relatively large compared to the mandible, and it fills the nasal cavity. In infancy, the lower jaw is positioned behind the upper jaw with a vertical gap that is present between the gum pads. The tongue is placed between the gum pads and it stabilizes the mandible during infantile swallow with minimal activity from the mandibular elevators. As the infant it matures, the arrival of incisors encourage the tongue to retract and develop the proper chewing and the swallowing mechanism. When the transition does not occur, the child may develop persistent habit that is known as tongue thrusting. So why is the retraction of the tongue important during the first year of life? Tongue retraction is important for transition from infant to mature swallowing for development of proper chewing and speech mechanism. So classification of tongue thrust, we can classify the tongue thrust into physiological, the normal tongue thrust that is seen in infancy, habitual, persistent as habit even after malocclusion correction, or it could be functional as adaptive behavior developed to achieve an oral seal, or it could be anatomic that is limited to physical condition like enlarged tongue. So what distinguishes a habitual tongue from the functional one? A habitual tongue thrust persists due to the habit, whereas the functional tongue thrust occur as an adaptive response to achieve necessary oral functions. Now let us describe or definition of the tongue thrust according to the two legs. It is described as the forward movement of tongue tip between the teeth to meet the lower lip during deglutition and speech, making the tongue become interdental. So this one is the classical definition of the tongue thrust. Apart from that, various other definition has been given by Broad, Barber, Schneider that you should know. Now etiology of tongue thrust. Key factors include there are two types of factors. One is infantile swallow and other is adult swallow. So infantile swallow, all infantiles thrust their tongue while swallowing. The tongue's hair during the infantile lies between the gum pad and the mandible. It is stabilized by contraction of facial muscles, and it disappears with the appearance of teeth and growth of mandible. Remember that. And the difference between the infantile swallow and this one is the mechanism of infantile swallow. The infant closes around the areola. Infant's lips closes around the areola of the breast, and the tongue protrudes to lower lip to form a spoon-like closure around the nipple, and there is relaxation of elevator muscle, and mouth is open wide, and milk is directed to the pharynx. This is the mechanism of the infantile swallow. Whereas adult swallow, as the person swallows, the tip of tongue, it contacts the palatal rugae area posterior to the maxillary anterior teeth and the mid palate Mid portion contacts the hard palate and posterior aspect assume a 45-degree angulation against the posterior pharyngeal wall to permit the bolus of food to move into the digestive tract. So this is the adult swallow pattern. So there are two type of pattern. One is infantile and other is adult. Now etiology, it can be due to the condition like chronic tonsillitis, allergies. They can promote a forward tongue posture due to pain or need of maintain and open airway. So etiology could be due to the respiratory infections or neurological disturbances, conditions that affect the sensory control and swelling coordination such as hyposensitive palate. They can result in tongue thrusting. Other is functional adaptability. Temporary changes in anatomy like missing incisors can cause the tongue to protrude as it adapts to the altered oral environment. So what role do upper respiratory tract infection plays in the development of tongue thrust? Remember, the upper respiratory infection, it can cause discomfort and reduce the oral space, promoting the tongue to get forward posture in order to maintain adequate airway, and that lead to the tongue thrust. Now what could be the treatment? Let us discuss the treatment part. Effective management of tongue thrust involves, we have a multidisciplinary approach. The first of all we can go with is the behavior therapy, exercise to train the tongue to stay in correct position. Orthodontic appliances can be given. Orthodontic appliances like palatal crib or tongue guards to prevent the tongue from pushing against the teeth. Speech therapy can be given. It helps to correct the improper swallowing and speech pattern that is caused by tongue thrust. Again, coming to the etiology of the tongue, hereditary factors, structure of the maxilla and certain neuromuscular character that favors the tongue thrust can be hereditary. Tongue size like macroglossia can have effect on the tongue, can contribute to the tongue thrust. Congenital aglossia, that is the absence of the tongue, affects the dentition differently. Now let us discuss the features of the clinical feature of the tongue thrust. Extraoral, you would see the lip posture. Great lip separation is consistently observed in the tongue thrust cases, both at rest and during function. Tongue thrust can cause speech disorder. There may be sibilant, lisping, and difficulty articulating sounds like S, Z, T, D, TH, N, and V. There is increase in the anterior facial height. So there is increase in anterior facial height that is seen on the intraoral findings. You will see the swallowing pattern in tongue thrust is jerky and inconsistent. The chin is posteriorly positioned. The tongue posture, the tongue tips at the rest tends to be lower, especially in the presence of anterior open bite, requiring more time for the tongue to move from rest to the swallowing. Various malocclusion can result from the tongue thrust, including proclined maxillary incisors with increased overjet. There would be increase in spacing, chin-like spacing, and apart from that you can see is the maxillary constriction. So these are the features. of the tongue thrusting. So there is increase in the anterior lower facial height. The lips are incompetent. There is speech problems. There is abnormal mentalis muscle activity. So these are the feature of the complex tongue thrust. There is proclination of anterior teeth, generalized open bite, absence of temporalis muscle, constriction during swelling, and contraction of the lip, facial, and mentalis muscle. Remember that for your exam point of view. For the lateral tongue thrust, that may be this one is the lateral tongue thrust. It may be unilateral, one-sided, or it may be seen both-sided. Lateral open bite is seen. Now, diagnosis is important. Check for the past speech therapy and invest any history of upper respiratory infection, sucking habits, or neuromuscular problems. Examine early detection and correction of the prevented swallowing habits. They are important to ensure normal development of the palate and the dentition. Tongue posture is important for the assessment of the tongue when the mandible is at rest, especially if the lips they remain apart. Watch the tongue during swallowing. Different types of swallowing, like when one is unconscious or when he is chewing. Whether the tongue thrust is simple, lateral, or complex type. You have to note that. Coming to the treatment consideration for the tongue thrust, that is based upon age. Tongue thrust may self-correct by age of 8 to 9 as the permanent anterior teeth fully erupts. Early orthodontic treatment is most effective during the mixed dentition stage or between 9 to 11 years. So treatment based upon the associated manifestation. Treatment may not be necessary if the tongue thrust is present without malocclusion or any speech problem. If both tongue thrust and malocclusion are present, orthodontic correction is usually effective. If speech problems are there, combination of ortho and speech therapy can be given. Apart from that, myofunctional exercises can be performed. So place the tongue tip on the rugae area and practice swallowing. Use an orthodontic elastic sugarless fruit drop that are held against the palate to train the correct position. Perform 4S exercise. Remember this 4S exercise that include the spot, salivate, squeeze, and swallowing. Remember this for your entrance exam, the 4S exercise. Additionally, whistling, rectifying number, gargling, yawning, and other activities that could tone the relevant muscle. Use of appliances can be done like orthodontic and myofunctional appliances. They help to position the tongue correctly with the tongue tags and guards to prevent the thrusting. Apart from that, we can use tongue clicks that helps to elevate the tongue. Apart from that, we can use Nance arch. So it helps to correct position the tongue correctly with the tongue tags. Nance palatal arch is an acrylic button. It acts as a guide for tongue placement. Remember that. So this one is a Nance palatal arch, that is a acrylic button. Apart from that, speech therapy can be given, focus on the training the tongue posture that is essential for proper speech, articulation, and normal alignment. Apart from that, mechanotherapy, fixed and removable appliances that are used to restrain the anterior tongue movement during swallowing and help to maintain a more posterior superior position with the oral cavity.